Hi, good night, and welcome to Bank Talk. My name is Jason Clark. Tonight, I'm joined by my fellow co-hosts, Akeem Nero, Damian Reed, Dwayne Collymore, and Hassani Evening. And tonight, we are joined by a very special guest, left arm seamer, Grenadian left arm seamer Preston McSween.
To all, pleasant good night to the viewers as well.
Good night,
Good
Maki.
night, good night, good night, Marco.
Yeah,
Yeah. How you doing, my brother?
Everything is good for the time, cannot complain. Just doing the work as per usual. And that's it.
Good to hear. Good to hear. How the rest of the guys doing?
Well, pretty much we're on a break right now because of the current situation in Grenada. We just kind of have a meeting just the other day discussing whether, when we start back and stuff like that, preparing for a potential 4-day competition we're supposed to start in February. So, we just, as a franchise, look to come together and just start and in preparation for that.
Okay. Good to hear. Good to hear. Um, no, Maki, I know you're from Grenada. No, I think there are only five guys from Grenada who would have went on to play for the West Indies. So it's not as it's not a country where you have multiple guys coming out and representing the West Indies like a Barbados or Trinidad or Jamaica. So before we get into your career, I just want to know like how it started. Like, give us a background of how what is like growing up in Grenada and getting at a young age in Grenada.
Well, mostly in the villages, the first get-together sport you will play is cricket or football.
Okay.
And most of my guys and even school past friends and stuff like that would normally come together and we just pick up a bat and ball and just start playing. But initially, firstly, my first love was football. I used to play football most of the time, but then cricket bring in the tours. So I continued to the cricket journey, and I never looked back from since.
Okay. And at what age did you really take the cricket seriously? And were you always a bowler? Because many sometimes like you got guys like Nero who try to hand at the batting and then bowling and maybe keeping and so were you always a batsman? Were you always a seamer or you used to back in it?
Funny enough, when I entered the St. George's Academy, at age 13, my coach at the time, Clinton Williams, told me, what do you want to do? And being a left-hander, I was like, probably I would try and be a bowler. Because at that initial stage, you would think batting at that time was just swinging your bat, basically. Because when they play village cricket, they have nothing called, placing in the gaps and stuff like that. You usually just hit the ball, 6 run for last ball win, and in that situation. So basically, I started taking it a little serious when I started traveling to under 15, going to Trinidad at a very young age, playing 2 under 15 years. Then I branched off to under 17 as well, represented Winwood. I even made invitational West Indies team to go to Australia at 16 years old. And that was an eye opener for me. Saying, what, cricket actually took me to Australia, so why not continue and just try to be the best that I can be? And that's just a simple journey.
And at what age you said what age was this when you went to Australia? This was
I was 15 at that time, but it was
15.
on under 16 with Tony Hartford at the time. It was more Trinidad based, but usually they do tours to Australia, and it only happened like 2 years. They never really did it other than that, but it only happened like 2 years.
Okay. And like in terms of the club cricket in Grenada, can you give us a general synopsis of the format of the club cricket in Grenada?
So we usually play cricket in different parishes. So you have the St. George's League, then you have the St. Andrews League, then you have Grenada League as well. Then we branch off further to Winwood Island cricket, and then go off to the West Indies afterward. But usually we just play more, parish leagues, just
Okay.
like how you guys might have St. George, where Ashley tournament is. So
Oh,
similar to
St. Philip,
to
St.
these
Philip.
kind of yeah, St. Philip, sorry, my bad. But yeah, similar to these stuff though.
no, so I know you would have, I know you would have played some cricket some club cricket in Barbados. You actually played with Nero and Collymore. So when you actually arrived there and was actually playing for Yorkshire, what was some of the differences that you would have seen, from the onset, representing Yorkshire as opposed to, compared to back in Grenada.
Really and truly, stepping out of Grenada at that time, I didn't really know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
The guys was kind of welcoming, especially Nero and Fed. Fed is always the person who will give me the most talk, and we just compete the most in the nets and stuff like that. And
Mm-hmm.
just raise the aggression. So it was a welcoming feeling. And then when I reached there, it was basically to just play one warm up and straight to the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm actually surprised me and the guys actually come together so fast and just build an energy of each other, because I mean, first time experiencing the beach and culture, and it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there.
All
That's
right,
the other
Mikey.
way. Yeah.
Yeah. Before getting to my first question, I heard you said that your first love was football. So would you compare your game to Fred?
And no comments, no
Uh,
comment
all
whatsoever.
right. You mentioned earlier that I remember the first game you played. Well, no, I got backtrack it. So you was preparing for the quarterfinal at
Hmm.
Kensington Oval. So when I say, yeah, McSween coming in. Man, at that point, the men didn't really know Mackie on there. So man say, yeah, Mackie coming in. So my man, Kevin Howard now started doing calculations in his brain. Howard said, yeah, this man coming, Cody. That mean, I drop. I don't believe this year. Nothing. For the final, I can't play. Yeah. So you know me now, it be, just be zen. It be Mackie line practice now. Make your ball up, Mackie swell up, bum. Mackie market, he run up. First ball, Mackie ball. Like how we do so. They can't see. How the girlfriend there? For the first ball, Mackie ball. How is that? How are they good? How are they
I
ball
never,
in the
I
ball?
never, I never heard the story yet. The wrong.
Yes.
Yeah.
How are they ball
That's
in the
true.
ball?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How are they
I
ball?
see. Yeah, the first time I see back, I remember the first time I see back in Boulder too. Yeah, it's a mess. Yeah, I got them after
Yes.
yeah, but God,
My
So so Mackie, could you run us through that? Again, that first game was against Wanderers.
yeah,
They remember you
Rover
wanted some curlers at Mosley, and then
Mosley.
obviously talked about how the feeling of Otis was the coach at that time, and I think he
Yeah.
invited you to train with the guys and stuff like that.
After the game, Otis actually told me, I could come and be a part of the West Indies group, or come and be a netballer and, get the experience of some of the other guys. So I actually branched off into a West Indies camp as I left Yorkshire.
so so
And
so that this was the first time, Maki, that you would have ever gotten any communication with the West Indies, any West Indies setup.
no, I played on the 19 World Cup first before in
Oh, okay,
2016,
okay, so
and then afterwards I came to Barbados after.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay, good. So,
But it was a good experience. I would never only say I regret my experience in Barbados, because actually it teach me a lot in terms of like how I go about the game. Because we usually kind of go about the game differently here. We usually just turn up to cricket, play, no strategies really. We just come out and just express ourselves, because we see cricket as an expression. We have competition between one of the guys. We're gonna say, this person not gonna get me out, or I'm gonna hit you about 3-6 and over, and it's always a competitive nature. So that's where I get my competitive spirit from. Grenada, and playing cricket amongst a lot of talented guys all around Grenada itself.
Yeah, and secondly, I remember when you came back on contract for Pride. however your name was at that point, and you were living in Oxnard. So many nights we would drive home and we would pass some grounds, and he was like, "This ground is a school ground." So we would pass. He said, "Come on, here, that's just a school," and then got cricket ground and stuff like that. So could you compare like the standard when it comes to the schools and the cricketing facilities and back home in Grenada?
In terms of the facilities, we're not really blessed with a lot of facilities at the moment, but we usually have like programs and stuff like where we have development in terms of like for players who just probably like finish college and stuff and want to branch off into an avenue to then make it to the Winwood. We have a program in here in Grenada called the Elite Program. Where you get a basic salary every month. You come out to train with the coach, which is Junior Murray. And then we get a lot train alongside the Winwood Island franchise. So, we always sharing experience and sharing knowledge, with guys who actually played West Indies and who actually played for Winwood for extended period of time.
Yeah. Good night, Maki.
Good night.
As an honorary Bajan, a lot of people might not know because I call you Bajan because we hear a lot. So as an honorary Bajan, what's the best part of our culture that you enjoy since coming to Barbados and playing cricket?
Should I really answer that? To be honest, I enjoy everything. Really and truly, I enjoyed everything, but the cruising, it was the first time I really cruised in my life, and just the experience, going along Nero's cruise, other players' cruise and stuff. I had a wonderful time.
Yeah.
So I would say the cruising for me.
Also, Maki, you played for the Pride, and I think you also represented the Volcanoes. Could you break down or explain the difference in terms of the setups, like the difference between the Barbados setup compared to Leeward setup, and which we ain't gonna say which one you prefer or which one may benefit you, but just give us an insight as into the differences, because when we had Stowe, he had mentioned that the training, you understand, for the islands was one of the most intense training camps he ever experienced, as opposed to Barbados, where see you just come and you warm up and you do your drills. But he said the weakest man out there, he had to get up to par in order for the team to move forward and whatever the next drill may be. You can explain to us the contrast between the two.
So what really happens here, right? Our coach, our strength and conditioning coach, which is Mr. Cyril Cox, he believes in fitness, and as I say, we're not blessed with much facilities, so where we could do a lot of skill drills, so we have to actually compensate in something else. So we actually say getting fit, you could concentrate for longer periods, and just play the game in good spirit and just control what you can control. But in Barbados, no, the culture is different. They get picked for a assigned role, So if I'm in the team, they will say, what, your duty or your job is to bowl a new ball for me, pick up wickets, whatever the case may be. So it's kind of different in terms of like you get a specific role playing in the Trident, in the Pride, and in Grenada, no, it's a different, and in terms of the drills, he's a workman, so he believes in work, and he just tells us every day, let's go out there and work hard, and just enjoy our game, and that's just basically it.
Yeah. Also, too, I remember when you played with us at Yorkshire. I remember in the latter stages, I think you had pick up a injury. And then the season had finished and you went back to Grenada. And obviously, as you said, there's not much cricket in Grenada. But then it's like a year or so later, I start seeing McSween back on the scene, fitter, stronger. Then you play the regional cricket and you seem to mature into your craft a lot more. Like you could talk us through the experiences in terms of the from being down to then, going to put in your work and making sure that you get back to where you were when we first saw you.
Okay, so initially when I came back to Grenada, I was injured at the time. So we have free physiotherapy services, and
Mm,
Dr. Mario Christopher actually worked alongside with me, for months practically just to get back on my feet, and I started getting a little progress. Things started getting a little better, and then after I branched off into a coach named Mr. Paul Phillip, and he actually teach me biomechanics and stuff like that. And I actually started to work on my posture, work on my strengths, work on everything, and I had to go through that camp for literally almost 2 years. And it actually took me 4 years before I actually made Windward Island team. And yeah, after that, when I got the opportunity, I told myself, you actually work your ass off for 4 years, and just go out there and just represent, enjoy the moment, and just try to capitalize. And capitalizing actually brought me into a West Indies setup, so I can ask for a better return.
mm, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, good night, Preston.
Good night,
Sorry,
good
go
night.
ahead.
Continue.
No, you could go ahead. You could go ahead, Reedy.
Oh, all right, cool. All right, you just talk about getting into the West Indies setup and stuff. Can you explain the emotion, the feeling, getting that call when they was whether England won? Two, tell us about the bubble life in England, the quarantine can't get away, etc. Like what you guys do still outside of playing, like at night or whatever the case may be, what you would do to keep yourself entertained, for lack of a better word. And three, compare the England tour to the New Zealand tour.
So firstly, I'm going to say the first one. In terms of like how I felt, I don't think that at that time words could actually express exactly how I felt at that time, because 4 years of grinding, with bare minimum wage at that time. I actually had to do like 2 jobs, and I had to sacrifice time as well. So I used to train in the morning periods, and then in the afternoon periods I would train again. And my coach always pushed me to the max. You have days where wasn't really motivated enough to actually carry on, because I just feel like, sometimes the world be crumbling on you sometimes, but, I just still keep the faith, keep fighting. And in England, for entertainment purposes, we had like a game room where, guys could go and play like Formula One. You could go and shoot hoops. I post some videos where I just shooting hoops, flush, LeBron James moment, just strictly doing it with it, And I had my moments, and yeah, we basically had a game room. And in terms of New Zealand to England, in terms of like the camaraderie of the team and stuff like that, everybody tends to gel a lot. In a team, sometimes you would have people who will kind of separate themselves in terms of like friendship for a long period. So, you have some people who have diehard friends for probably over 5 years. So, they will gravitate more towards, But I'm a free-minded person, so I would just go into any situation and just be me, and in terms of like for the group, it's been good. A very good experience. I cannot ask for a better experience. I mean, a game would be very nice, but I cannot ask for a better experience.
Pressy, good night, man. Bless up. Thanks for coming. We had Iceman on in the earlier up in the season. He spoke highly of you, as an up and coming someone to watch. But we can tell you about the crew setting call. You know how it is. You say that you enjoy the cruising, but we know that that's the real reason. That wasn't the main attraction. We know. You're going to a day cruise, a nice day cruise. Oh, women, magnificent.
To be honest,
I know.
Who took Maki the wall to say so? Like it just
and I put that in the spot there.
No. I know what. But we've got American admire Lamborghini. That mean one you shot within your means. You can look. You can look.
I hear you. I hear you. I hear you.
I know
To be
Grenada
honest,
is the spice oil, but I know when you can. Oh, you say, oh, it's sugar down here.
to be honest, the first club Nero and Fred and these guys actually brought me to was Sugar. So I guess they actually set the tone for the Barbados culture. Because I think I saw a lot of seating, but I just don't want to mention anything more. But I figured that's it.
Yeah, it's true. That was good times,
But
man. It was good times. Because my man Tick was the guy
Yeah,
for that
Tick.
night. Like,
I was
boy.
not gonna bring Tick. Tick, man.
Yeah.
Tick was the man, boy.
Of course,
Tick know his spots.
that was a legend. That was a legend on the road. No matter where you're gonna go, even if it's 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock, 6, you're gonna go.
Yeah,
You're gonna go.
we gotta shed a tear for them days, fellas. I don't know man last, boy. Them days seem so far.
Telling you. But Neo,
That's
you still
true,
owe
boy.
me. You still owe me a brandy for the cruise, though. I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh,
The next one,
Yeah,
next
yeah,
week.
yeah.
Next week. Can't do.
but press
You
like
can sell it though.
But Pricey, what I have to give you full respect for is the effort you put in. You said you worked 2 jobs on and practice on the minimum wage, but you did what it took to get you from that level to this level. And I think this is what I admire most about the smaller Caribbean islands that don't produce a lot of. There's a different set of hunger because they all seem to want it more than the countries, like say for example here, whereas that cricket is so natural to us, like you just break it and breathe it, but y'all just scratch and claw y'all way 10 times more. That once y'all reach that level, y'all seem to enjoy the success, and that I have to give y'all credit for.
I mean, to be honest, with a country the size of Grenada, coming up from the villages, basically, we had to learn everything from scratch. It was never really a culture where, we have blessed with multiple legends, we can go and have a conversation with and, just actually, improve and grow your game. So basically, you're in control of your game. You have make all the decisions. You have to read situations and analyze on most occasions, what you think would be the best balls or, the best approach for certain situations. So it's like, you will literally be a little bit more in it, I would say, because you don't really have the person next side of it to say, I'm going to do that job for you. You have to do it on your own. So I believe the hunger stemmed from there. And then actually growing up in a small community, 2 small communities, Budge Grove and Laberry, I wouldn't say poverty is high, but I would just say, we come from low income houses, and, the hunger and the fight that you see your mom and your dad go every day, on work just to provide a meal. So, you grow up seeing the hardship, you grow up seeing, and then you tell yourself you cannot just be normal, you cannot just be average. So, you go out every day to represent and just be focused and, until your knees and everything and injuries forbidden, I'm going to just go. I'm going to go until.
Marky, you had your taste of success, so to speak, in terms of the call up to the West Indies. What is the next step? Where McSween in? Let me see it. I don't want to say in 2 years because how sports to go back. Let me say in 2 years' time, ideally where McSween would like to be in terms of his career.
I would like to be a consistent performer in terms of consistent representative for the West Indies and other franchises. I don't believe in just sticking to one thing. I believe in whatever I can go or wherever I can go and play cricket and, get whatever experience, I would actually do it. So it's not really just only about West Indies, but I'm thinking about growing myself in the cricket game, so it could be England, it could be the United States, it could be New Zealand. Whatever the case may be, I'm actually interested in cricket. And I think I told myself, I'm going to dedicate the next 10 or so years of my life to cricket. So let's see what happens.
I was about to answer, Mikey, where the sense of pride for Grenada came from, but you so beautifully explained it just now, because I remember back in the day You know, talk my nonsense. Like, I would tell Maki, like, nobody in Grenada got a bigger song than Rihanna. And Maki can argue real life.
Yeah.
Real life.
Yeah, it's strictly real, boy. It's true.
Proud people, proud
So
people,
then,
proud people.
yes. So actually, like, if they got buses down there, like they saw they just make it sport. And Maki,
You know, it's
I'm Maki gonna crawl with me for hours.
Hold it.
Right?
Of course.
Right, so
Yeah,
Maki, what would a Maki of today tell a Maki back then? What would be his advice be to Maki back then?
Back then, most of the times, cricketers and even personnel blessed with the ability to play cricket. I don't believe in talent only. I believe in smart and hard work. Nothing in the game comes easy. You have to put out the work to receive, whatever success or whatever you want to achieve. If you don't put in that work, nothing's going to happen. So I believe I would tell her, a Maki from before, stay a little bit more focused, pay attention to your game, work on your game, and just strive to become better every day.
All right. Maki, another question. Who your idols, bowling wise? Who do you look up to? Who do you idolize? I mean, being a left arm bowler, that's
Pedro Collins,
rare,
Eddie.
rare air. That's a rare air.
To be honest, I don't really, what should I say? I don't really have an idol, but I actually look at most of the funders around the world and their successes, and try to actually add little 2 cents into my game, what I think would actually help me going forward. So I usually look at Mohamed Amir, Mo Soli, and then still Trent Bolt as well. And that's my cricket because we tend to have like the same styling. We're all aggressive attacking bowlers. So in looking for anything, I actually look that direction.
Right. You're missing. I ain't hear it call some names, but I can debate here. I can fry. I hear. I certainly left hand. Couple left.
Look at him start.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, I have a lot of respect and I have a lot of ratings for Mitchell Stark because of the way he go about his game. Sorry, but I don't think that we have much in common other than swinging the cricket ball. And yeah, I think we're both different players, but he is exceptional in his job, I would say.
Yeah. And what would be? You said you're gonna that you plan to dedicate the next 10 years of your life fully to cricket.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite format? What was you longer form or the shorter form? What's your favorite format of the game?
To be honest, Test cricket is my format. To be honest, the excitement is all good, but I believe that if you can go to proper cricketers and be patient and even analyze situation, even look at ways in which you can out batsmen, try to outfox batsmen, start to stay ahead. Test cricket is that kind of game, and then when you actually construct a proper over, a proper spell, and you get the reward, you tell yourself, well, I actually put a lot of thought process in it, but in the shorter form, I feel like, everything happens so fast. You're never really in control. So I believe that Test cricket for me, you're in control. You have spells in which you could actually try something differently, come different every time. So Test cricket for me is my favorite form.
Okay.
So we're playing with the spice. Flash out the spice man. Automatically, splashes the man with the vibes. So when in the next against a guy like Fletcher, what was the atmosphere like, man? Like to bowl out Fletcher. When you're playing, I was at Yorkshire, was playing with Maki. I can like to do this or I can do that. Just a challenge. Even if it don't come off of me, then he can challenge you to say, well, all right, man, I can swipe at you this evening. What is the environment? What is the bowl and to be around Fletcher?
To be honest, he's a character in itself. He always bring the joy with him, and he always compete. And ever since I know myself, me and Fletcher always compete. So no matter what situation, wherever we play, we compete against each other. So he always say, you know what, you're not going to out me today. But we already gonna know the answer to that. You know, survival does not always be a must in certain situations. You know, but we always have good energy and good atmosphere. You know, but always be more on a competitive nature, though.
Um, I just, excuse me. I just want to piggyback from what Fed just asked. He asked about Fletcher, but you know,
Sammy.
can you give us a no, right? I get it. No,
You
no,
know
no.
fair, you know fair that Sammy. Oh,
No,
go on, go
no,
on.
no, no,
Tell
no,
that
no,
girl,
no,
tell
no,
me,
no, no,
tell
no,
me
no.
the good. Tell me the
I
good.
no, I just wanted to know from Maki, like, you know, who, what, I don't want to say player, who's the players you find, you know, was it, you know, enjoyable to be around, in the setup, in the practice sessions and stuff like that. Who's the most, you know, jokey player, or the, you know, serious player,
In which
just
settings, though? In which settings?
West Indies.
West Indies.
Yeah.
To be honest, more so, I actually have fun with everybody because most of the times, like I play cricket with most of the fellas from before, you know, so we generally have a good energy, and I always bring a competitive nature to the game. So despite feeling drills, despite whatever drills or whatever we do, you know, I always bring out the competition. So most of the time, me and Kima will go, you know, competition in terms of throwing the ball over the stump. You know, me and Craig or me and Shamar will go throwing at the stump. You know, bowling as well. Me and Jaden will be in the nets. You know, let's see who first get a wicket. You know, and it'll just always be a good vibe. You know, we always just try to stick around each other, try to learn from each other. You know, try to relay as much information as possible. You know, and try to be our best to, you know, like ask question in terms of like what we do in certain situation and certain conditions. You know, what would be conducive. You know, and you know, it's just always a good vibe when around the fellas. It's always a good vibe.
Mhm.
Yeah, Maki.
So, oh,
We
sorry,
talking
sorry,
about the
okay.
call up to the West Indies, but we ain't talking about the actual breakthrough season that you had. What was some of the
Yeah.
highlights of the season of that particular season?
Um, so I would say, you know, in my first year, the first game, I actually took 3 5 wicket hauls, and I think that was a huge achievement for me because you know, starting the season, I didn't really know what to expect. First full competition, you know, I have a lot of nerves. You work your ass off before to actually reach to that stage. So you know, it's always the business time. And you know, unfortunately, my first game was against Barbados, and which I know most of the guys. You know, so I was actually a little bit more on the comfortable side, I would say. You know, and I actually just went out and expressed myself. I actually bagged 4 wickets in that match. And you know, I told myself, you know what, I cannot just come into this team and give standard performances. I have to give something more because I was being paid for play at that time. I didn't have a contract or anything, so I have to give the board something to work with because I'm looking for a job. You know, so I actually went out and took 3 5 wicket hauls. I mean, and 8 wickets in 31 wickets in 8 matches. And I could take that any day.
And
My,
secondly,
okay.
let me last wait. And
Go,
secondly,
go, go, go.
you mentioned it on the 19 World Cup before. So can you talk about that? Tell us about that experience and some of the world stars who of today who were actually playing for their representing their countries today.
Um, the World Cup was a very good experience. In the team at that time, I wasn't, you know, the man with the new ball, which usually is my strength mostly. You know, needs to come in under the first change, but that's okay. You know, if you're a cricketer, you have to be a cricketer in all situation and you know format. And you know, the star players in which were there at that time was Sanju Samson was one, Puran was one. You know, Fabian, Noah was star again. You know, Brandon King was in the team as well. Cannot remember so much of the other players because you know World Cup on the 90. Most of the
I
time,
remember you
you
telling me
don't.
about Rabada though. I remember you telling me about Rabada that one.
Yeah, yeah. He
Yeah.
had this moment that you know first teams come into the hotel and you know I saw this long arms fella, you know, big fella. I was wondering if that was the massage therapist or something, and I actually saw him in uniform one day when we playing like the practice games or warm up games and stuff, and I was like, okay. And then we played them the first game in the competition, and this guy like was so much gas in Abu Dhabi. I tell myself I don't know how some of these guys become batsmen in this form because 91 that was the first time I actually see 90s. And I was telling myself I bowl in a calm 75. You know? Yeah, so he was really nice. You know? The experience was very nice.
Oh, Marky, experienced the West Indies setup, obviously, and you played the first class setup. Are there any difference in terms of levels? Like, if is there a big gap between the first class setup and the systems in terms of it, and then we get to the West Indies setup and systems?
I don't really think so. You know, for me, I believe that it's either you follow like team goals or you do personal goals. You know, so I believe if you in a system or a franchise where it's deciding that we're gonna play team cricket, so the team at first, you know, and we go about the game differently. But some situations, you know, you have a assigned role, as I said, you know, but you don't have much of a difference. It's just probably the consistency in terms of like for a bowler, you would have to be a little bit more consistent than normal and what you actually producing first class. And the margin for error is very small, I would say. And, you know, you have to put good practice and good structure into your overs and stuff. And as I say, always try to stay ahead of the batsman. You know, when in doubt, probably ask one of your, you know, fairly experienced player or something, you know. So I don't think there is much of a difference. You know, I just feel like it's just more so assessing and just executing.
Okay. What about comparing that there now to, let's say you in England and New Zealand, you saw some of those players who maybe just played, who probably in the same position as you played as far as, you know, first class cricket. Is there a big difference in terms of their development in comparison to our players' development, or you would say it's the same, or there's not much difference?
I wouldn't say it's much different. You know, as I said, go down to saying again, like every organization have a structure, you know, and there is a way that a New Zealand team might go about playing cricket, and the West Indies culture might be different. You know, so I believe in, you know, whatever you stand for as a team, you know.
Marky there. I really enjoyed
Out there, boy.
Really.
Before Marky get back, who the guys got in this IPL final, man?
I got Chennai, Nero. You know that I was right in the last 2 days. Jesse,
I think the momentum with them right now.
I don't fancy 92, but I would take right now. I would take CSK, not CSK. I would take KKR at this point.
KKR,
I would take them at this point. Yeah, Marcus.
I got CSK, man.
Nah,
I think
want
I have CSK as well.
I want CSK win. I want them catching me. They can't catch me.
But Nero, before we get back, before we get back to Marky there, I see Michael Vaughan was talking about Kohli and his boys. Like, how come they just can't cross the line?
Just
It's kind of the captaincy.
This is
It's kind of the captaincy, Jace. Captaincy.
Like that, you mentioned that. I felt like I made just 2 days ago before the first the eliminator, the first one, when CSK played our Pan and them boys. Felt like I made a group. He want CSK win because he can beat them in the finals. This man very arrogant, and I know it's crunch time, Jace. It's crunch time in the tournament, so I know KKR and them teams. You know, this season at this point of the stage, at that point of the tournament, Jace man get beat. I swear the internet was off. I swear all the social networks crash again. I could hear everything down there. The first time I hear it, since man no tonight. Tonight. It's tonight. Man would not
Oh,
comment this. Then get the stuff is behind man.
But you know, right?
Ooh.
If you check the blogs, the man calling, the man telling them trying to release AB de Villiers, he ain't contributing, he ain't.
Mm.
The man
Let me know
said,
me, man.
but the thing is that RCB only benefit cause some teams have some mishaps, you know. RCB ain't supposed to be up in there.
Ain't
We
no
all
that.
know that. Once you
Yeah.
see the man play better when he ain't the captain no more.
All right,
Wow, wow, wow.
let me get back to Mark. I think you
Pressy.
said you were asking. It was you that was asking a question, Faye.
Yeah,
Or
Maki,
you?
look into
Oh,
you saw the CPL just concluded. I still have a problem with the CPL, but that's not for you. That's not for you. But I in terms of exposure, you see Dominic Dritz, his career seems to take a big step now in terms of he's currently playing with the same CSK, and that stems from the CPL. Would you think that you would like to be a regular fixture in a CPL setup as it to boost your chances not only for international but like franchise cricket? Because I see Rutherford, you understand, he may not play much international in the last year or so, but he basically won almost every tournament he was playing in. It's starting from the IPL with Mumbai, then Pakistan, and now CPL. So you think that that would be a assistance in terms of propelling your career with the white ball?
I think so. Every team, most teams like to have a left-hander up front. Which would be a very good attacking option, as you know. Defenders tend to swing the new ball a little bit more than the average right-hand fast bowler. But for me, I think that is a very good avenue in terms of like world standard because I mean most people around the world watch CPL cricket, and you never know where CPL can take you. It can actually take you to Nepal one of these days. You never know because they have so much competitions all around the world. So I believe that what, I'm not going to limit myself or restrict myself to one dimension of cricket in terms of like Test cricket only, but I think that I would actually be a little bit open in terms of all formats. Yeah.
Mm. And just one more question, quick. We had Stowe on the show, and he mentioned, the option of playing in the USA. Like in
Mm.
terms of being from Grenada, obviously he's a Barbadian, so we seem to get a little more of these avenues a little easier. How is it in terms of seeking playing other tournaments as a Grenadian cricketer?
To be honest, sometimes they say sometimes you just have to be in the right place at the right time.
Mm,
More so, there's never really they have cricketers who from Grenada go up to play minor leagues and stuff in the US, but it don't happen that often. You know,
mm,
um, so more so, you have to be as I say, in the right place at the right time. But I think it's a good avenue in terms of like for exposure because you play against Pakistanis. I remember this one time I actually went up to the USA and played for a club named Arsley, and there was this Pakistani guy who scored 110 overs. You know, I don't know how that happened, what happened, but balls was traveling to baseball ground, so but it's competitive for sure. People talk about the standard, but in every competition or every league you go, just like in Barbados, sometimes you have raga. You go and play against MTW. Like there's always this guy who's gonna hold on to you. And I could safely say I had my D's at raga.
I
So
get it.
it's been a good experience.
It's true, boy.
Oh, good
Okay.
time, man.
Speaking of your days, against Raga, you would have obviously played with Mr. Akim Nero and Mr. Dwayne Codimore. Um, can you tell us, what it was like playing with these guys, and then what was it like playing under the captaincy of Mr. Akim Nero?
Uh,
just know before you start, you can tell the truth. There are
I will.
there are other clubs that are listening, so they would love to sign you out. So you don't go pretty out. You can tell the truth.
Playing against the likes of Nero, bowl a lot of sweet food. The chicken pens has been busy from the since the time I arrived. There's always, and the thing I liked about Nero the most is, despite you're gonna hit it for 6, he still comes back. And then he celebrate, he run all around the pasture, in celebration. If he's just walking into Yorkshire Ground, you would know Nero got a wicket because he would literally run from here onto the mango tree anyway. He's gonna run. So it's been good. Captaincy on Nero, he pressured me a couple times when he realized that I've been lacking. He and Fred actually had a game where I didn't perform to my best, but as a person I am, I would voice my opinion, and I was actually stopped in my tracks. They would say like, if you bowl, you bowl. So we had some good days.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah, some
some
real
good
good
things,
days.
man.
Okay.
Have some good things, boy. That's the truth.
Tell us about the season, about a couple of games you wanted to convert to a batsman. He went for hitting 2 sixes. He went in 2 or 3 sixes.
He
Swiping
want
back,
promotion.
and he want elbows.
So every club have their standards. Every club have their standards. So me and Fred, and Evelyn and was competing for the bottom order. And we always go by who scored the most runs in the given game is going to bat ahead of who. And you have some games where I actually scored more runs than Fed, so I think it's only right and unjust that I actually
agree.
get the opportunity to
That's
go ahead of Fed.
That's the problem. If Mr. Stark score more runs than Gilchrist in a one game, Gilchrist ain't changing.
But Preston, you would have never get that change because Fred and Nero's good friends. Come in.
But, since I see Fred gone under the cool love, I understand that things has changed. But it was good, man. It was some good memories. Right?
Yeah, boy, that was good things, man.
So how you enjoy the Beijing spectators? The Beijing spectators. There's no filter at cricket.
Yeah, boy. Especially Yorkshire under that tree, boy. Let me tell you.
Cause Stoke was telling us, about his experience at Spartan, and that was rough. That was so. How was it for you?
To be honest, at first, I'm accustomed to talk because I actually grew up. I grew up in an all boys school, so talk has been not natural for me. And then I met Harun, sorry. This guy would never let me be great at no point. Taking 5 wickets, taking 4, he's still not pleased. So it has been, a roller coaster ride in terms of me and his relationship. Probably I'll just buy him a drink and he will still curse me all day long.
Yeah.
But I guess that's just the culture of the club. And then when they come to the club, you have to meet the great Harun.
Sure, yeah.
He only like one man, boy. He like one man. That's Dwayne Smith, boy.
That's Dwayne Smith, yeah, boy.
Nah, he man, boy. Everybody
How you doing though? Like,
man, he's still there, boy. Yeah, man.
That's a good
They must give him a shout for me, man.
He still like Pakistan, but man, know everything about Pakistan, Jace, boy. Everything Harun know about Pakistan. Who aimed, how much wickets he talk. Yeah, boy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Harun, man. That was good things, bro. That was really good things, man. Yorkshire, boy.
Yeah.
Even Shines at his best too. Despite being in the same team, Shines will tell you how you feel. That was taking some getting used to too, because you're not accustomed with a guy coming and telling you you're gonna play your first and last season for a club. You're gonna play two competition in 1 year. Your first and your last. It was something special.
Yeah, man.
It's true, boy.
I know you mentioned that this. I got a shiny story, man. I remember we was playing at Lil D. We up Lil D. he going really know what to play. Really had Searles, Ashley, Javon, not the Miguel,
We lane.
Jarvis.
You mean we gonna play a lane with that?
Yeah,
Right,
like, we beating on this. We struggling. Man, get some early because they going to the crease now. I think the fella who he named Hurley. Who he named the early spinner. He was born, he was born at the time. And he's boss on the balls. So my man had overstepped one, Jace. And it just come for an easy ball to point. This time Jace serves at point. Javon serves at point, Jace. So automatically, and it gotta be a sure run. And that time it wasn't fit me. There's a big guy. There's a Cornwall size blow. You understand? and I just each forward there, Jace, and I push it there. And shines all in my face because of free hit. He hearing the ball, all in my face, Jace. Yes, run. I said, no, it can't work, Jace. I left my crease. Jace, I was still a faster. I can let you run the Teddy Rashman there, man. When the ball was coming off.
So man come off low, so low. Shay's got nobody about the edge now. You know what I mean? I can't, so we in trouble. So I crawl, run up now, I crawl now, so. And that's the lane, so.
You know it?
I was not the lane. So you might come out now, try to keep a straight face, no, you might so take off one part. If when they want to run, we can get some more Russell, man. I do last on that. This is something bright.
Like honestly, like I was Roy Archer years and years, even before the main cut there. But you see Shay's boy.
Legend, boy. Legend.
Good things, boy. Good things.
Just sitting up after cricket and listening to Shay's talk too, boy. Like,
talk very funny, man.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, Shay's is a man. Shay's is a man that can punch it at the end of the day, boy. That joke.
Yeah, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah, he was.
Of course.
For sure, James.
What got me laughing? That's bad. He played 2 seasons in one. The first
saying laugh. That was something. That was something.
Why was you saying, Jess? Why was you saying that? But that thing is build character, man. That's what people all the time. Like,
sure.
You are Clement, you got man like that. It's build character. Some people is break because some people can't take it. But you gotta be strong because you gotta then believe in yourself and you gotta tell yourself, you see, he's one man that can prove wrong. You understand? So it's build character.
In life too.
Yeah, in life. It's look at life a lot different. I think obviously people say so, how you play cricket is how you live life.
You remember Mark Hamilton?
Yeah, boy.
Josh. Yeah, Josh. He didn't name Josh.
Yeah, he didn't name Josh. I remember of course you remember he Marky with we going to MTW. Another story, just we going to MTW, my man Josh.
Josh was
the left arm spinner from Guyana. Man, see this man. My man, we tell you said, yeah, this man, he got potential, man, going to MTW. We scheduled MTW. Our usual shenanigans.
He tax 6.
Yeah, my man take a 6 for JS. So the game done now, you got your after game conference and talking and thing. My man said, fellas, I think that we have the lights. I think we should utilize the lights a little more. We should practice a little longer. I said, this man, my man mean business, JS. My man come to the standards now. Jesse, next game, we foundation. Jesse Mark cannot get ball pitch. Desi Mills was the coach player. Desi walk off the passer, brother.
They first my brain I drop him.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, yes, boy.
Yeah,
we realized this man was coming to fat, man. This man not the real deal, man. This man, but it was good times, boy.
Yeah,
they had Jesse and Kato. Yeah, it was another game for the Maki.
Jesse was the other
George.
They had George too.
Yeah, they had another left hand player too.
Vincent.
Yeah,
Vincent.
yeah,
Right, same
Vincent.
fella.
Oh, you mean Gavin?
Oh, you mean Gavin? You mean
Gavin,
Gavin?
Gavin,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gavin was supposed to be my replacement, and then we had some espionage in the camp, just man.
Always, man. Always.
That's some espionage in the camp, man. So we lose Gavin, but Gavin was a good point too, boy.
Yeah,
Maki too, but at times just we had to pull up Maki too, you know. We make a cricket go in, you know, in a castle team like Grenada got one club. In a castle team like Jay, so he can't hear no man take. I mean, take the life we party. Take the man go the Friday night can cricket at 12:00. I do his business. Cause he sees him, man. Maki take on our road. Just a Saturday man can cricket, James. Yes, Maki was no help to himself, brother. I said this is a joke. He wrote this is a joke. He wrote this is a joke. This can't be the fella that we bring the road, man. Here, rules, Jesse, man, rules, brother.
I mean, with consistent performance, you have to allow one slip up, man. You have to allow one slip up, man.
Last time, I can't remember that again. I can't remember what it was, though, but you guys said, the fucking. But that was good times, man. That was good club times, boy. The truth. Them times was good times, man. Had cookouts and things at club.
Yes.
I remember the game where we play was YMPC and Dwayne Smith hit me right in the middle of my forehead here.
Yeah,
boy. Yeah. That evening, my boy, that evening, I think he hit Tariq too.
Man, he hit everybody.
Yeah, boy.
Everybody.
My boy, real quick that evening, I wasn't sure that's right.
Yeah.
Man, that's scrolling, but that wrist, man, put that wrist behind the ball here. Oh, that shit. That evening, man, Robbie, I'm going to let you know, Robbie, boy. You going to hook me for 8 6s.
What you did?
Man, pitch up a ball. Man, pitch up a ball. Yeah, Robbie scored. Yeah.
No way on that. No the culture. I hope the guys would have let you introduce you to some Bajan foods. And if so, what was your favorite?
Oh,
you had it.
KFC.
To be honest, you know, they say sometimes you have to stick with what you're accustomed to. So, you know, I had my KFC and my Shifted days steady. And because fed the chef wouldn't bring me any sauce or anything.
At that time, it wasn't up and running. It wasn't up and running at that time, man.
He used to bring me no school food then because he was in the school.
Yeah.
You know, so
it's true.
You know, Fed used to bring around much. You know, the guys had a cookout one time. Fed and who had the cookout? Yella. Who had the friendly rice? Who had the friendly rice though? Who had the friendly rice?
Yella had the friendly rice, man. Yella rice was sitting together, man. Yellow rice was real friendly, man.
I got one more. I gotta give this story. I gotta give this story here. I gotta give this story that we talking about this, right? So we made the first cookout. It was I can't remember if it was first or Chatagoon and Dixie was probably first.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, the man looking for Chatagoon. The man said Chatagoon is the man. This done know the man they're cooling. Your man Dixie know where to do a list. Appetizer, you know, super thing for the men swallow up, nothing, boom, boom, boom. Chatagoon stroll across the highway, swallow up. Take a chicken out your bag, so. And Dixie, they're laughing, man. What are they in the road? What are they, man? That's all, Dixie, man.
Yeah. He can't beat me. No, it's different soup, man.
My man, Dixie got presentation, Cody.
Everything.
Apron, a hot Cody, everything, man. Give me food. Dixie food, all right. Right, Chatagoon chicken hit me mouth, boy.
Yeah, boy.
Oh, my God. The man said, I know Shines no. Dixie, you do super thing, it might be you still, it might be why. You start chatting, man, get off the hell you here. You might say the man chicken had on feather still, man. You might chicken had on feather still, man. Man, block them out and beat you bad, man.
That was good time, Jess, boy.
That was amazing.
But Jess, and I could go off too. I got yellow hammer, Jess. I got yellow beat, Jess. I can't really fool to the man. I guess Janice is a judge. Janice is a judge. and Janice like yellow bad. We get by Janice. No, Janice is the type. Everybody down, you know. It come down to Janice vote.
You lost.
I see Janice look at yellow.
You know the
She said,
answer.
and she tell me, she said, your rice thing. That time just my rice well shit. My rice ain't friendly, you know, my rice is rice. And I see
You
my
raise
rice.
divorce. You raise
Yeah, it's probably
divorce.
my rice and thing, you understand? My man, yeah, I got some rice and peas there, Jesse, right? If you had take a cup and scoop the rice, you could have shaped it into like a ball of the master. You know what I'm saying? And I hear Janice. I can't remember. She said, "Yeah, Fang." She said, "Fang one thing is good, but you know, I gotta go with Yalla. That's the old man. I answer, man. No,
You
next
know
man,
you
yeah,
lose there. You know you
man,
lose
yeah,
there.
I lost there, man. But after I got high
Focus.
Yalla beat you. I do some fried rice and beef and
But
thing back
Fed,
then, man.
Fed, it was
Here, buddy.
yellow she
Yeah,
friend, friendly.
I know,
You
man.
madu friendly rice. It's a
Yeah,
French
but
thing.
then
Course.
It's a
and
French
then
shit
no,
rice, man.
that
And
time,
up to this
the
day, we
aim
still
of that
say,
drill to Jess was to get a lot of the guys at the club, you know. We was building a good club, but ask Nero when he cut Jess.
I
You
didn't
ain't getting
say,
it. Huh?
that was I
Oh
was
my
gonna ask
god.
that, but then I tell myself, you know what? Let me left that
Left it
out.
out.
I know
Jess,
Nero in the man
the
in the
man
kitchen.
can
I had some
about
lobster line up next for the next week, boy. Some lobster thing, but I can't remember what happened. I had some lobster. I had it
that
there.
time the man got that Jess a man asked if he could do nuggets and
Um,
spaghetti.
Armani.
Armani wanna pick
he's some
Or what?
diggers. I
it
see
was good
Armani
time.
doing barbering now. Well, I
Yeah,
think I
yeah, my
saw a
man.
page
So,
where you doing barbering now.
yeah, man. God
All
damn
right.
it, everybody trying to make it, boy.
Okay, that's good.
He they still ask for gas money, I think, though.
I
Nah,
know,
yeah,
I
you
get
know,
it, I get it,
that's standard, man. I got the standard.
I get it.
Hopefully,
But
listening, man. You can come in
but
the
last
comments
two,
and defend
Hopefully
himself.
mature now, man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I remember this one time we went where we went, boy. I think that was a fete in Kensington. And you say, you know, if you wanna go, I just had to buy my ticket and thing, you know, but you know me. I was like, okay, no problem, let's go. Buy a ticket, we gone in. I waiting for the man to say, you know, I will touch the first base, you know, because at the end of the day, I bought the ticket. So I thought, you know, the guy would have bring the first one. I'm still waiting up to know. So I mean, I guess that first one will come in the next 3 years. Bro. Never get that. Never. But that's
Yeah,
my good friend, man.
I got cheat, yeah. We got a good story, but you actually, I remember to write a thing right there. They was talking to Ethan, man was talking about the gas station at the airport was bidding, he bid for ownership or something, so I'm like, man, okay, fine. Man say, yeah, he put in the bid, and the bid was turned. No, obviously he didn't want this close. So my pa was like, so Bessie, what's your bid, man? I said, he don't want to tell pan. So then he eventually said $150,000 or so. So Pastor, so wait, let me say, I got obey you, huh? That's good times, boy. Good times.
Yeah,
But Maki, I
Tana's
got a
okay.
question here from a fan though. She wanted to know, what do you think could be done to develop the cricket in the Troy Islands? She called it the Troy Islands. I guess she means done by your guys, you know, the Leewards, next other guys. Do you
Cheyenne,
think could be done?
Olivier.
Cheyenne
Yeah.
Oliver.
For
Is one of your
me, for
fans?
me, I,
Is
for
one of your
me, I would
fans?
put.
As a supporter of the show. Supporter of the show.
Oh,
For me, I would think that for me, you get some of the best coaches, to start off in schools. Start off from school, so you teach children and teach them the fundamentals of the game from a very early age. You don't have a situation where you're gonna learn cricket probably when you reach like 22 or 23. That time is a little too late. So I think that we should develop programs in schools, have good quality coaches in which that we could actually emphasize a lot about the game, and tactics in the game which can improve the game, and how you go about your approach, your discipline, And I think that another thing that they should implement also is like education and cricket. If for a lot of sports, they actually have an educational base. Most times in cricket, mostly CCC was the only team who actually had like university and grads. So I think that they should start from a very young, start from probably secondary school or even then, and from primary school, sorry, and then even grow up into secondary school so that the time they reach secondary school and under 19 cricket, they have a fair understanding of the game and is what is required at certain situations and certain junctures. So I think for me, if it's up to me, I would improve on that.
Okay.
My last two there, Mackie. You first one I know you're gonna be political, so you can still answer anyway. You think of the West Indies chances in the upcoming World Cup, man?
Once we get our strategies right, our batting order right, I think that we stand a very good chance, because we have some experienced candidate also, and I know the energy that DJ and even Pollard and Pooh and everybody on the team actually carries, and it's a standard in which that the guys have to follow. Most of the guys play cricket together for a long period, so they have a general understanding of each other's game. So I believe with honest, opinions and even telling a guy as it is, when you think that a guy needs to buck up and go for the greater good in the situation, I think that with that and good team spirit and good energy, I think that we stand a great chance of winning.
Any more questions for you ask my last or?
All right, let me jump in here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Earlier, talk about taking 3-5 wicket hauls and see they take that turn to 1 wicket team. 8 games or something like that.
Yeah.
One stand-up wicket like a peach, a delivery that you can't forget who the person was and describe the delivery.
That's so much of wickets, right? Usually, like for me, I love to see a guy get nick off. For me, who was it? There is what is his name again? I actually forget his name. But there is a guy who I nicked off, and I actually celebrate that wicket. I don't usually celebrate much, but I actually celebrate that wicket. Cannot remember the guy's name right now, but yeah, it was a nick off.
Okay.
All right, Nero, you got to go, man. You got to hit us if you're tuned.
I was mute there. All right, Mackie, on behalf of the guys, I would really like to thank you for coming on. It was a fantastic interview.
Yeah,
but before you go, who would you like to see on bench talk? But you're gonna plug the same person.
Oh yeah?
Oh yeah.
You do. You know who I want to see? I think I would recommend Azari Joseph.
Plug it.
I recommend Azari Joseph.
Plug it. Use the agent. Use the agent on that one. Use the agent.
Go plug in.
I will definitely work into it. I'm gonna have a conversation with him after the phone call, after this interview. Sorry, and I will tell him, his presence is requested. Even though I know I'm the person to say it, but I mean, come on and have a nice little talk with the brothers, man. Because it's always a good vibe. Probably I never told you guys before. I actually appreciate a lot of things that you guys actually implemented in my life in terms of like how you guys make my life better in Barbados in terms of like moving around, getting to practice, doing different things. And, there's always been a love every time, when I spend time with you guys. Unfortunately, all the money get too big for me. I can't be a part of your club anymore. But, hopefully one day, I will come around and probably just have a little beverage and watch what's going on.
It was going so well, man. Appreciate it. He was going so well. I knew I shed a tear, man.
Well, I know, man.
Pressy, the Yorkshire is not Yorkshire anymore. It's the Nero Invitational. So if you're part of the upper echelon of Team Nero, you ain't get in.
So that means you have to agree with almost everything that he says. So that's why Fred jump ship.
Yeah.
Respect our manners for that, man.
Yeah,
It's always a
Maki,
pleasure.
yeah, on behalf of the guys at Nero said, we just want to thank you for taking the time to join us tonight. And as Nero said, we really, really enjoyed the chat, man. They had some it was good to hear, you know, your story and your journey, mixed with some of the laughs. Sorry, I like I still remember they two shy stories. Thank you. But so yeah, I really enjoy the laughs, man. And you say you dedicate the next 10 years of your life to for the cricket. So we wish you all the best. We wish you nothing but the best.
Sure.
In your journey going forward, man. From what I know of you, you're a hard worker, and you definitely have the talent there. So those two things make you're definitely on the right path. So all the best in your career going
Also,
forward.
before you run, Precious, before you run, there's an open invitation for Crop Over 2022. You got open invitation, buddy, for Crop Over 2022.
Thank you. I will take that with pleasure, man. I hope this time around, Nero actually live up to his word. And should actually bring me some sauce. That's all I want.
Easy.
You covered.
Listen,
Anything you hear that show,
And
you covered.
and also I see like you have some family in the chat and some other people from Grenada were locked on. So anybody who wants shout out quickly.
I don't think I'm seeing anybody. Yeah, but big up to everybody who took the time off, to come and just, have a nice little enjoyable moment with us, chat cricket, chat about life, chat about everything, Thanks for taking the time off. That's it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Maki.
Thanks, man.
And,
Thanks, Maki.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks everyone for continuing to tune in each and every week. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe when you do watch this video. And have a good night, guys.